Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. This reading is totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Four of Cups. You're someone who is, I feel like you're a very committed person. I feel like you have generally a very stable outlook on life, okay? I feel that you don't often get overwhelmed by your emotions. I think you're very good at it's the self-regulation, like keeping yourself calm under pressure. I don't feel that you're not prone to like emotional outbursts usually, right? But I feel like right now there's kind of something that we're kind of having a change of heart about, right? Anytime we get a 4, we start looking for the 5. And the 4 of Cups to me is a ship that's kind of it's parked in a safe spot. It's anchored in a nice safe cove. It's away from the storms of the open ocean, away from pirates. It's pretty safe and stable, right? It's not sinking, no holes in the boat. But we're not out there having this adventure either, right? So I kind of feel like this is the beginning of something new for you. We're realizing that we need to make a change, okay? Something's been maybe lingering around too long, or we've been lingering somewhere too long. Things need to happen, right? It's almost when you throw a party and there's some guests that just won't leave, and they're just kind of lounging around. You come out in your bathrobe and it's like, okay, no disrespect, but get out of my house, I feel like we're kind of we're at that point with something. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. Let's see what's going on here. We've got a Knight of Wands. You've got the Death card. You've got the 6 of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Hermit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we got the Hermit too. We've got the Adjustment card. We've got the Princess of Cups. We've got the Emperor. And another Aries energy, the Knight of Wands. More fire. More fire. I think you're going to be experiencing more inspiration. Okay. The 4 of Cups seems to be inspiring us to action. The 4 of Cups seems to be like, I don't know, almost like I've had enough of being here. I need to do something. I need to make a move. I want change. I want adventure. I want to go in a new place. Maybe it's just I want to go on vacation, right? Maybe the Hermit is just saying, I want to go explore life a little bit. I want to go do something that I haven't done before. I want to follow my light in here. Maybe the 6 of Swords in the background here is that you've always been somebody that kind of sticks to the plan. But the Hermit is the one that says, I don't have a plan. I'm just going off my gut. All I got's my flashlight, and I'm just shining the light as I go, And so I wonder if we realize that it's kind of time to start changing something, to get something moving again. Yeah. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down over here and put Tiny Bob Ross right on top. Happy little Bob. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this program you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments down below. Now, looking around the room, we've got major, 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 major. A lot of major arcana energies, huh? And I feel that that's a pretty serious message, right? That's kind of like saying, hey, it's high time we started doing something different, okay? A lot of major arcana usually tells me that this is something it's kind of you're being called to a new adventure in your life, okay? You're being called to something that it's going to be much more exciting, right? There is this need for activity. Okay, the Four of Cups is too stagnant right now. It's water that's too still, and we know if it stays like this is like, you know, I don't know, on your, like you got one of those little above ground pools in the backyard, right? It's just standing water, and if it stays there too long, you're gonna get the mosquitoes and the algae and all that stuff's gonna start. It's gonna kind of get swampy in there, right? There needs to be movement. Something needs to be happening. Otherwise, this still water is going to be completely just, you know, toxic, right? And that's what the Four of Cups is right now. It's saying things better start moving quickly. Otherwise, this is going to get worse. This is going to turn into a Five of Cups, a Seven of Cups, an Eight of Cups. Okay? And so we have that Prince of Wands right there. So we've got like a lot of major arcana. We've got fire, you got water, you got air. Right? We don't have any earth energies. We got a little more fire and water over here. We don't have any earth, and I think that's in some ways the earth. The absence of the pentacles is saying that it doesn't really matter what it is. It doesn't matter what you're going to start doing. What matters is how and why. Okay. So in some ways, it's kind of saying, let's just do anything, but let's find something to apply our energy to. We need something to shake up the waters. It's kind of like the Four of Cups is kind of saying, I don't really feel anything right now, and I want to feel something, you know? And we'd rather intentionally find something to feel or engage in an activity that's going to kind of wake us up a little bit and excite us, rather than our unconscious sort of causing mischief just to kind of spark some kind of motion in the waters here, you know. So we've got a little bit of air energy too, and I think that little bit of air is kind of like we're kind of, I don't know, the recent past for you. I think you've been someone by the book. You've been kind of living your life according to this plan, on schedule, doing things the way they should be done, following the path that you've laid out for yourself, sticking to the plan, following the trail. That's what this card is, right? Kind of got it down to a science. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I've got my college courses all lined up. I've got the plan. This is my career plan. This is my life plan. This is plan. Okay? Sometimes we're on that well thought out and organized journey, and we start to feel a certain way about it. We start to feel that Four of Cups. We say, gosh, this is, I mean, yeah, I understand the need to have a plan, but this just doesn't feel that like anything. I was going to say it doesn't feel great, but it doesn't feel bad either. It feels like nothing. It's almost as if there's no emotional connection with this plan that you're following. Okay? And that, I think, is leading us to what may be a shadow aspect of the hermit, which is like literally walking away from the plan. Literally just abandoning that and saying, I'm going to go and do something else. Screw it, right? We don't really want to do that, though. You know, there's a reason why you have this plan formulated and you're following this trail. We don't want to go completely off trail. So we add in the Prince of Wands, which is us taking conscious and deliberate action. All of these cards, the fire cards, are about conscious, deliberate action. Yeah. And this is saying, okay, well, I recognize that I need to shake things up in my life, but I want to do so in a responsible way, not in a way that's going to completely dismantle the whole plan that I've been following. So I think that this card is saying we need to go out and we need to find something that excites us. We need to do something that's going to stimulate the wheel of fortune. That's going to make things happen, you know. And then the hermit becomes we get more of the positive aspect of the hermit, which is kind of an internal clarity and introspection, and being honest and realizing what we feel inside, and sort of what our path should be. We're not necessarily going to go completely off trail. We might go wandering in the woods a little bit, but we're always going to know where the trail is, you know. We're still, let's say we still have the same destination. We still want the same kind of, the same goals, but I think we want to have a better experience getting there. Does that make sense? So we might be stepping off the well-trodden path to find our own way. You know, there's not just like the Six of Swords is sometimes a recipe. We don't always have to follow the recipe. Sometimes we can deviate from the path that's been laid out, that either we laid out for ourselves, maybe somebody laid it out for you, I don't know. But we don't have to follow it to the letter. Especially now if that letter has no spirit to it, has no feeling to it. We want a little bit of excitement right now. And I think that to do that is going to require that we get in touch with this death energy that's down here beneath the surface. Okay? Sometimes the death energy makes us feel like it's either or, like it has to be one or the other. We're either following the plan or we're completely hermit, completely off trail, right? How can we do both at the same time, right? We have to realize that with the death card, this is a steady force of change. Things are always moving forward, okay? And as long as we are aware of that, then we can have a little bit more fun and excitement. We can have a little bit more variation in how we are going about our life path, right? If we know what the goal is, okay, if the goal is always going to be the goal, then what if we were to just take the more scenic route? I'm still going to the same place, but I can have more fun along the way. I can see some different things, and what we can do is we can expand our experience. It's always a good idea to experience more of life. You know, we want to expand and grow and not limit ourselves. Okay? In this case, I feel there's a contrast between the Death card and the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like the Death card is kind of like we're sacrificing our experience of life in order to stick to the plan and get to the goal, rather than expanding. Like this feels like it's detrimental to us, and this is feeling like we're broadening our horizons, we're widening our field of experience, we're expanding our consciousness. This feels more like a constriction. Okay, and so this might be a process that's happening inside of you where we're realizing that we might be clinging to this path that we're on because we're a little scared of losing it. You know, we're a little scared of going off trail. We're not sure if I'll find my way back. We're not sure if I'll still get to the goals, if I'll still have a good life, and so we're kind of limiting ourselves with this by refusing to acknowledge that Four of Cups, which, again, the Four of Cups is not bad by any means. Four of Cups saying everything's okay. But sometimes the Four of Cups is like we're trying to just put a Band-Aid on a problem. Eventually it's going to fester. Eventually it's going to become a Seven of Cups, right? And we don't want that. So we're kind of acknowledging that now, and we're thinking, well, maybe I do need to change. Maybe I do need to evolve and grow a little bit. Maybe the Six of Swords is a life that is too structured, too planned out. Okay? And maybe this is kind of saying like everything is going according to plan, and I'm getting kind of tired of that. Yeah. Like maybe I want a little bit of a struggle. Maybe I want a little bit of a winding path. Yeah. Because that's going to give us much more experience of life. The Wheel of Fortune is all about expansion and growth, right? Where I feel like the Death card is kind of like, you know, it's in a way it's sort of a contrast to this. Maybe it's limiting growth, but it's really asking, what do I have to let go of that's preventing me from growing? You know, for preventing me from expanding my range of life, right? Are we afraid to change course a little bit? Are we afraid to deviate from our path or explore some alleyways or explore the periphery a little bit, right? the borderlands of life? Are we reluctant to let go of something that we've been clinging to, even though we know that thing's been limiting us and holding us back from a more rich experience of our lives? Yeah. So I feel like we know that there's an adventure out there for us, but we're sometimes refusing the call in a way. Yeah, because it will involve, kind of letting go of certain things that have brought us comfort in the past, like having the GPS directions, having the MapQuest directions all printed out. You got your turn-by-turn, directions all printed out. And the Hermit with this energy of the Prince of Wands, it might just be like, I don't want to follow the directions. I don't want to follow the GPS, right? Because the the Six of Swords is giving us the most efficient route. It's the GPS that says you go this way, it'll be the fastest way, it'll take the least amount of gas, and this is the most economical route. But sometimes this is just saying, I don't want the economical route. Can I program it to give me the scenic route? Can I program it to give me more novelty, more excitement, more love, more variation, more diversity? Can I program in some kind of randomness to the system? I don't think it works that way. So it's almost as if, let me just turn off the GPS for a minute. Maybe I just turn the paper over and I don't look at the directions, and I just see what's out there. I just wander around a little bit. Yeah. And that's not always easy to do. It's kind of scary. Ask my wife. I don't like turning off the GPS. I like to know where I'm going and the most economical way to get there. Right? We're on a schedule here, But sometimes that's the least fulfilling way. So I feel like you need more enrichment in your life right now. Path of the Serpent, we've got the Libra energy. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. It's totally free, okay? The Libra energy is adjustment. How do we need to course correct a little bit? How confident are we that if I go and kind of screw off a little bit and have a little bit more fun, or go off trail, or sort of get lost in the woods a little bit, or I kind of drive off course, I go see some sights, I visit some roadside attractions or something, like, how confident am I that I can find my way back to center again? If we start to stray from our well thought out and structured and organized life, right? If I throw some novelty at myself, if I throw some randomness into it, if I try to shake things up in life, how confident am I that I can get back to the path and still get where I'm going? Or am I so afraid of change because I feel like I'm going to lose myself? I'm going to lose my bearing, right? Losing our bearing. So we're judging ourselves. We're sort of weighing the options here. It's like, is it worth it? I can follow the directions and I can get there right on time, or I can take some detours, I can have some adventures, and maybe I'll get there a little bit late, maybe fashionably late, but I'll have a much more rich story to tell. But am I afraid that once I sort of get off the tried and true path, that I'm going to get lost, or that I'm going to forget my goals, or that I'm going to get overwhelmed by the other stuff, the novelty? Is it going to consume me? How easily can I find my way back to the road again? How good of a hiker are you, metaphorically speaking? Now, in the environment, we've got the Princess of Cups. We've got dreams. We've got wishes. We've got desires out there, right? We want new relationships with things. We want to encounter new people, places, and things that are going to make us feel something. We want to go see the world's biggest ball of twine or whatever, right? We want to see, like, I don't know what the novelties are on the road, and we want something that's going to wake us up, that's going to arouse us in the true term, right? That's going to sort of inspire us, that's going to get us motivated again, that's going to make us feel something, it's going to make us laugh or cry or be scared. We want to go to the haunted house. We want to go and see the Christmas lights or something. Like, we want to go see art, and it's a road trip where you can go from point A to point B, fastest way possible. You never stop. You just go straight through. You get there in a day. Or Maybe you take a week and you go camping, you go see these other things, you go to the museums, you go to the whatever kind of stores and shops and attractions, and you meet a lot of new people and you see a lot of things that you never would have seen before. So this is a reading that's sort of asking, well, what kind of road tripper are you? You know, are you just straight through, no stopping, quick as we can, get there in record time? Or we're saying, hey, let's have some fun. Let's explore a little bit. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You know, you're taking this, I don't know, maybe you're literally taking a road trip, but this adventure of life, this road trip of life, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, right? So why are we in such a rush to get from point A to point B? Why don't we enjoy it? Why don't we meet new people? Why don't we try new things? Why don't we let our heart sort of guide us a little bit with the confidence that we're still on course, even if we've gone off trail, we're still on the right track, you know? The Emperor is the confidence, and I feel like that's the issue right now, is that we're not so confident that if I deviate from my plan, like you're someone that probably needs a lot of discipline. Let me rephrase that. Discipline, I think, is what we think we have, when what we're doing is we're clinging to this plan and clinging to this schedule because I don't have discipline. I'm this way too. I need structure. I need a schedule. I need to say, you wake up at 5:30, you do your work, you exercise, you eat, you take your medicine, you go run your errands, and then you eat again, and then you take more medicine, you go to bed or whatever, right? You read your book, meditate, and do these other, I need that kind of structure, right? And sometimes it's like, well, it takes a lot of discipline to stick to the schedule. Yeah, it does. It takes even more discipline to not need the schedule and to still keep yourself together, right? Because sometimes we cling to this. Sometimes we rely on the GPS because we're not confident in finding our way without it. I'm talking about myself here. Sometimes it's the lack of this Emperor energy that is saying that's why I'm kind of scared to let go of the Six of Swords, because I'm not so sure that I have the discipline to sort of to live my life in this more artistic or more free way. See, this is kind of like art and science, battling it out. And perhaps it is that Libra energy that we really need in conjunction with our Aries energy. See, you are more confident and you are more disciplined than you think. You're very capable. You're very powerful. And I think we have to let go of all those things that are preventing us from realizing this Emperor energy. See, you are this Emperor, but this isn't the position of the obstacle because we're not realizing this. Okay? And we might feel even that with the Prince of Wands and that Four of Cups, that this is a breakdown of our discipline. That we feel like, oh no, I should be sticking to the plan, but suddenly now I'm kind of feeling like drawn to these other things, and maybe that means that I'm weaker than I thought. Maybe that means that I don't have as much discipline. Maybe I need more discipline, and I got to stick to the plan harder, And so we get kind of shocked when we feel this energy coming into our lives because we feel that it's a breakdown of our discipline, of our structure, But really, I think that this is the adventure that's going to require your discipline, require your self-control and your courage. It's asking you to step up and answer the call toward a richer and more abundant life, you see. And at the end of the day, Knight of Wands, I feel like you're answering the call, and you're going to take a chance on yourself. You're going to take you're kind of jumping in, I think that you're not going to allow yourself to overthink this. Yeah, this is kind of like we're feeling this impulse and we're motivated for these other aspects of life, and I feel like you're kind of diving in. I feel like you're leaping into it. Okay? And you're leaping into it with confidence. Once you realize that, okay, you know what? I am the Emperor. These two, both Aries energies, both of these are. Once we realize that we have the confidence and the discipline and the self-control, we have the power, then we're freeing ourselves to jump in, saying it's okay for me to kind of get lost in the wilderness a little bit because I believe in my hiking abilities. And I know that I can get back. I know that I'm safe. I'm capable, right? I don't recommend we go get lost in the woods or anything. But I feel like you're taking a chance. I feel like you're jumping in to something, okay? I want to look at the mystery card. Maybe that'll give us a clue as to what this might be in particular for you. I expect more water energy. I expect maybe a 2 of cups, maybe a 6 of cups, maybe a 9 or a 10, maybe the Lover's card, which would be your power card after all. Let's see what we have. The 2 of Swords. So the 2 of Swords is making choices that are in harmony with our wisdom, making wise decisions, not necessarily logical decisions. It's not making the decision to, well, I got to stick to the plan. That's the logical thing to do. That may be logical, but what's going to lead to wisdom? What is the wise choice? Well, probably Wheel of Fortune. Probably let's go have a richer, more expanded experience of the world. That's going to build wisdom in us, right? Maybe this is us making the wise choice to step off the tried and true path and find our own way a little bit, find our own path to the goals of life, go off trail, have a richer experience. Okay. And so it all comes down to the choice, but I think it's asking, like, why are we making the choices we make? Why do we choose the GPS and the map and the 6 of Swords over the spontaneity, over the novelty, over the sort of the heart, over the excitement, or the whatever it is? Why do we make the choices we make? And what choice would put us more in line with, I don't know, the universe, or with our true selves, or, make us feel more in tune with life? Yeah. All comes down to a choice. Anyway, let's do an extended reading. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Gemini Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.